Okay. When we talk about the Oracle of Omaha, Warren Buffett, it's really easy to get caught up in the headlines, right? The stock picks, Berkshire Hathaway news.
Yeah, definitely.
But digging into the sources, his genius, it's not just finding companies. It's this much deeper kind of self-evolving system.
Hmm.
So let's unpack this. Our deep dive today is into Buffett's way of making money. We've looked at a stack of sources exploring his unique approach.
And it's fascinating because we're looking beyond just what he buys.
Yeah.
It's about how the whole thing works. Some people call it his capital perpetual motion machine.
Right.
It's this blend of philosophy, company structure, and this really keen insight into competitive advantage, the whole system.
Exactly. So our mission is really to pull out those key nuggets, the core ideas, so you can understand the real engine behind all that success. So let's start where it began, because, well, even the best change course. Buffett famously started with Benjamin Graham's idea, the margin of safety.
Right. The cigar butt approach.
Yeah, exactly. Picking up these like nearly burnt out cheap companies. But that shifted, didn't it? What pushed that evolution?
Oh, it shifted dramatically.
Yeah.
His initial purchase of Berkshire Hathaway itself, a failing textile mill, that was actually a really painful lesson. He later called it his biggest investment mistake.
Yeah.
He even estimated it cost him something like $200 billion in missed returns over the years.
Oh, 200 billion.
Yeah. And that experience, it really changed his thinking. It led him to ask, why buy a bad company cheaply
When you could.
when you could buy a great company at a fair price?
Mm-hmm.
And that pivotal moment, that question, led straight to his whole moat idea.
So the takeaway is, well, it's that even for Buffett, the real long-term value wasn't in just finding a bargain basement deal. It was about finding something durable, something great.
Precisely. Quality over just cheapness.
Okay, speaking of core ideas,
Ah.
his principles are legendary. Let's dig into two big ones. First, never lose money. Sounds simple, almost obvious, right? But how does that simple rule actually change how an investor has to think? It forces a different perspective, doesn't it? Not just chasing gains.
It absolutely does. The depth there is understanding the asymmetry of loss. I mean, if you lose 50% of your capital,
Yeah,
you don't just need a 50% gain to get back. You need a 100% gain just to break even.
right. That's a huge difference.
Huge. And that deep aversion to permanent loss, that explains his focus on a safety margin and why he's disciplined enough to hold tons of cash when things look too expensive. He waits.
Patience. Okay. And the second one, treat an investment as buying a business, not a stock. So forget the ticker symbol flickering.
Okay.
He's looking at what, future earnings? Cash flow.
Future productivity, cash flow, the long term. That's why he has that famous line, if you're not willing to own a stock for 10 years, don't even think about owning it for 10 minutes.
It's a total mindset shift, thinking like an owner, not a gambler.
And that owner mindset is absolutely critical to understanding Berkshire Hathaway itself. That's the capital perpetual motion machine we mentioned.
Okay.
And the real secret sauce there, the thing our sources really highlight, is this concept called float.
Float. Okay, that sounds interesting. How does this float give Berkshire such a unique advantage, like zero cost capital? How does that work compared to other companies?
Well, think about his insurance companies, like Geico.
Yeah.
They collect all these premiums from customers up front.
Sure, before they pay claims.
Exactly. So that money, before it's needed for claims, it's technically a liability on the books, but it's also capital that Buffett gets to invest. And here's the kicker.
Right.
He gets it for free.
Free.
Zero cost. Unlike, say, a bank borrowing money and paying interest, or a company issuing bonds, Buffett gets this pool of money at no cost.
Okay, so that creates this powerful cycle. The float funds the investments.
Right.
Those investments make the company bigger,
Allowing it to write more insurance.
which generates even more float. Wow, that's almost like a perfect self-feeding loop. It gives him a huge leg up.
It's a massive advantage.
Yeah.
And this unique, low-cost capital, it lets him be incredibly patient, wait for those really great opportunities, what he calls golden rain.
And he uses it in two ways, right? Buying pieces of public companies like Apple or Coke.
Minority stakes, yeah. And then also buying companies outright, like See's Candies.
And all the cash flow from those just gets plowed right back in. No dividends.
Plowed right back into the machine. Always reinvesting.
So if he's hunting for these great businesses, how does he actually define great? What's he looking for? What's that key thing?
That brings us back to the moat. It's all about the moat, that sustainable competitive advantage that protects a company's profits from competitors.
Because profits attract competition.
Always. So you need something strong to keep rivals at bay and ensure those high returns on capital keep coming long term. Think about intangible assets like Coca-Cola's brand. People pay more for it.
Okay, brand loyalty or like switching costs.
Yes, exactly. The Apple's ecosystem. Once
Wow.
you're in, it's kind of hard or annoying to leave. That's a moat.
And he even puts numbers on it, right? He looks for a consistent return on equity, ROE.
ROE, often looking for at least 15% consistently. And that number isn't just random.
Why 15%?
It signals that the business is efficient. It can generate enough profit to fund its own growth without constantly needing new cash infusions from shareholders. Shows strength, independence, a wide moat. And, that adaptability, that independence, it really sums up Buffett's journey. From that biggest mistake.
But you can adopt the core principles, right? Really understand what you're investing in, make avoiding permanent loss your absolute priority, and cultivate that extreme patience. Wait for the truly good opportunities.
Absolutely. And this actually raises a final thought for you. Right now, Buffett is sitting on record levels of cash. He says it's because genuinely good opportunities just don't show up every day. So what does that discipline, that willingness to wait, teach us about the power of patience? Not just in investing, but maybe in any big decision you're facing.